this one, traded for my first big win. Jonathan Fink on the line tonight, with a pack in hand and a story that bites. Old paper, new spark, name on the card. From basement deals to a full-on star. Collected and connected, collected and connected, trading the truth, pass it on.
Hey, what's up? Jonathan Fink, Sports Card Collectors Club, and this is the Card Life Chronicles. And tonight we got a live rip session of VeeFriends. We're gonna rip 2026 Topps Chrome Series 2. So we'll let the chat fill up. We'll take a few minutes to let everyone join in, and then we're gonna let it rip. We got VeeFriends, we got Megas, and we got Blasters. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. Cooper Flag rookie patch auto was pulled. That's a red alert for all you guys chasing the Topps Chrome basketball update. I was actually thinking about doing a rip session for that tonight, but it seemed a little anticlimactic. And so maybe we'll pull a 101 or a rookie patch auto out of VeeFriends tonight instead. So you guys take care. Stay with me. We'll be back real soon, and we'll wait for the chat to fill up, and we'll have an awesome time tonight ripping VeeFriends, my favorite non-sports product. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Let's have some fun. So real quick, I want to say shout out to the three of you who are already in the chat waiting. This is a bonus rip just for you. We got Topps Chrome Platinum Baseball 2026. Let's rip. Brady Brasso rookie card. Brandon Nemo with the refractor. Brent Rooker base. And a Craig Biggio blue refractor. All right, you three, you're the best. Thanks for filling up this chat. We'll get started in a few minutes. We'll let this fill up real quick. Back soon. All right, let's get started, guys. We'll start with 5 people in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to this channel, I'm Jonathan Fink. This is the Sports Card Collectors Club. That's the name of my book series about sports cards. And I have a podcast twice a week on Tuesday nights where I do an interview show like Hot Ones, the famous podcast Hot Ones. And that's at 7 o'clock every other Tuesday. And then the alternative Tuesday is at 9 o'clock. I do a show called Rip Sessions, which is anyone can join. It's like going to a local card shop, sitting around a card table, and just ripping cards with friends or even with strangers. And so if you want to join me on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, we can fit up to 10 people at our table, and just hit me up with the DM. I'll send you the link, and you're welcome to join. And we'll take turns ripping packs and having a lot of fun. I hope that show does great. If it doesn't, we'll change the format and try something new. But this show is something different. This is the Card Life Chronicles. And this is a spontaneous show. It can happen whenever it happens. It's not planned. It's when I can fit it into my schedule. So I kind of have to just, let people know as soon as I make the decision. And then slowly the chat room fills up. And I've been amazed how, the longer we go with these hobby updates or the live sessions, more and more people fill up. And we eventually get into the hundreds and even to the thousands, which is pretty amazing. Now, the last couple times we've done rip sessions spontaneously, it's been for Topps Chrome Basketball Update. And I do have plenty of boxes left, and I want to talk about that real quick, although tonight will be dedicated to VeeFriends. But the Cooper flag did get pulled tonight in basketball, and that was the big chase card, similar to how the double auto, double patch Shohei Ohtani got pulled out of Topps Chrome a couple of weeks ago. But the truth is, there's 99 rookie patch autos, and I think only 23 have now been pulled. So a lot of the other big name players like Colin Knuppel and Dylan Harper, all those patches are still out there. And there's so many different, one-on-one refractors and so many big cards that even though I do think in the secondary market, I think we will see prices decline a little bit in the very short term after the euphoria of the Cooper flag we're getting out that's been pulled. So you might see a pullback for a couple of days, but I think after that, the prices might rise again. And by the way, I just saw the 2024 Topps Chrome Baseball update, which had the Yamamoto rookie patch logo, is still out in the wild. No one has pulled that card yet. So I would think that the prices of that product will actually stay strong as well. So yeah, short term, we will see probably a short term dip in box prices, but wait and see. I did have a kind of an update for you, just to give you an example of what things are going for lately. There's a alter ego design, which is a very, very rare special insert, and it's only for I think like a half dozen of the players. And here's a John Morant that went for 2.5K. This is the Kevin Durant. It's the Grim Reaper, 3.4K. James Harden, 3.4K. The Joker Jokic, 3.6K. Chef Curry, 12K. SGA, 12.8K. This is big money, guys, right? I mean, this is big money. King James, 15.3K. And then the Luka, 15.5. We know that the Minions Steph Curry was auctioned off and sold for 20K. And here's the Wembanyama that went for 20K. So my point is that I think there'll be a short term. The peak has probably hit. We'll see prices decline, and then I think prices will kind of slowly continue to rise. If you look at the Topps Chrome NBA first year, I mean, those blasters are still going for like $70 in the stores. The Megas are going for like $95. So right now, Megas have been going for around $120. I saw that they dropped around $110. They could drop below $100 in the short term, but if we go for the next week or two and we still have half of the rookie patch autos still out in the wild, I think prices will actually slowly rise up again. I know that inventory is starting to get short. Dick's Sporting Goods here in Leawood, Kansas, we have a House of Sports. They have a huge inventory. I don't know how many cases they get, but they get a ton. And I stop by every day to pick up my 2, and today they were all gone. It was sold out. Once the weekend, all the weekend warriors, a lot of people have 9 to 5 jobs or busy jobs during the week. They can't get to the stores like I can during the week. And so, so I got lucky. I have a huge stack of stuff because I've been able to, skip out of the office from my home office all the time and pop into all the stores and pick up my minimum 2 everywhere I go. Although Dick's Sporting Goods one day switched their policy to 10 blasters and 2 megas instead of 2 and 2. And so I bought 10 that day, and that's the day I did that second mega rip session. I think we went 2 or 3 hours for that one. So, anyway, the market, I think, is going to continue to be strong. But the euphoria definitely will have now peaked with the Cooper flag getting pulled. Like I said, that will be a short-term peak and a decline, and then I think we could rise again as fans start to realize that some big money cards are still available. But obviously, the Cooper flag. I mean, gosh, a breaker in Rhode Island found that card, and they said they're going to put it into their safe. And you know what? It's probably good that that's the person that found it, and they can put it into their safe and keep it safe. And the person who won the card is flaunting there tomorrow to pick it up. But we've seen so many robins and break-ins in this crazy world right now, especially with cards, card shops and for Pokemon, but also for sports cards. And gosh, I'm glad that they're in an obscure place. If they were like somewhere centrally located, they could have some problems tonight. But anyway, congratulations to the customer who was in that break. I think they paid $515 for the Dallas Mavericks, or $550, I forget. But basically, less than $600 to pull a card that there were several bounties on it, but most people believe the card was going to go for about $4 million. So that's incredible. That's definitely life-changing money. I know Ken Golden, the auctioneer, he had an offer where he'd give you $1.5 million up front, and then he'd put it on the auction, and then you'd split the proceeds. I was thinking about what would I do if I had pulled a card that's worth $4 million. I have my own eBay account. I like to just auction it off on eBay, but a lot of times I mail cards out, even with tracking, and sometimes people will claim they don't receive them and they complain, and then eBay sides with the customer, and I have to refund an ETB. So I wouldn't actually feel very comfortable selling a mega card on eBay. I think that's what these pristine auction type places are for, and I probably would give Ken Golden a DM and say, hey, I just pulled the Cooper flag, let's talk. So that could happen tonight, because the truth is, for as much as everyone's talking about the Cooper flag card, VeeFriends, the 101 Black Cat Erupt sold for $132,000. So that might be the ceiling, because that was the ultimate chase card, but there are cards definitely in here that are still worth a lot of money. So we're not chasing VeeFriends for the profit or for the flip. We're doing this because we love what this company is trying to do with this mission statement of making the world a better place through these characters. I feature VeeFriends in my upcoming book, Sports Card Collectors Club Volume 2, The Flip Life. And essentially, I started seeing videos of Gary Vee, his self-help stuff, and then he, of course, in Volume 1, I wrote a chapter about him called The Prophet, because he predicted the sports card boom was going to happen, and then it did. And then years later, I started seeing him talk about how non-sports cards are going to boom, and it already had been. Pokemon's already been huge, but he felt so strongly about it that he wanted to have his hands in the opportunity game too, and he created VeeFriends. He uses the characters that he drew by hand from his brilliant imagination, and what he created was a brilliant portfolio of intellectual property. The first it came out with NFTs. Then it came out with individual cards. Then it came out with sticker series. Then he finally did a deal with Fanatics, and they launched Top Series 1, which I feature in the Flip Life Volume 2. I pulled 2 101s, which was incredible. Grateful Goldfish and a Daring Dragonfly. And I did sell those, because sometimes you got to know what your PC, sometimes you got to know what you got to flip, and sometimes you got to flip to keep the cash flow coming in so you can buy other stuff. And so my favorite characters, I do like the Lucky Black Cat, but I personally like the most the Bullish Bull and the Entrepreneurial Elf, just so you know. So those are the kind of guys that I want to pull tonight. But obviously, if I pull the Dragonfly or Empathy Elephant, or that sort of thing, or it was the Grateful Goldfish. Forgive me, that was my other 101 was the Grateful Goldfish. My bad. So anyway, so we got megas, we got blasters. We'll rip for a bit, and as long as you guys are here joining me, and as long as I got entry, we'll keep going. We'll have some fun, and we'll see what we can pull from my favorite non-sports card product, VeeFriends. I'm not a paid shill. I don't have an endorsement deal with Fanatics. I don't have a relationship with Topps. I've never spoken to Gary Vee. I have a funny story actually about Gary Vee though. I once had this guy hit me up on my account, and actually the truth is it had the picture of Gary Vee and the name of the person. I still follow him. I can probably pull it up actually. Let me see if I can. It turns out, I think the person either it was Gary Vee, and this was his like burner account or like his secret side account because he's got so many followers. He probably probably has a multiple side accounts. But when we would chit chat and he would reply, his replies were so good. They were so quintessential Gary Vee that I really thought it could be him. Then I thought, well, you know what? Gary Vee promotes AI, so if you follow his stuff, he could have just told his AI chat to respond as if it's Gary Vee. But some of his responses were so right on. Yeah, it's Jenna DV, and this was the account, and the conversation that this bot or Gary and I had was awesome. And then ultimately what happened is I was telling my son about it because my son knew about Gary Vee long before I did. So he was really excited that me and Gary Vee might be talking on his side account and whatever. And then I said, I got to know if you're real or not. And so I asked him to follow me on Instagram, and he declined. He's like, I can't do that. That's too much to ask of me. And then I also knew that it potentially wasn't him. I told my son, I'm like, hey, if the next time we chat, he mentions an investment opportunity, it's probably a scam. And then he actually did. So I kind of picked up on that. My intuition called him, and I called him out on it. And he was like, well, your intuition could be right. But we left it on good terms, and we still do follow each other. And so maybe, it even says burner account. So, I mean, who knows if it was Gary Vee or not. But if it is, then I just sent you a signed book, dude, of Flip Life Volume 2. You should give me a call and say thank you. When I sent Jeff Wilson a signed copy of Volume 1, because I mentioned him in Volume 1, he sent me an email and said thank you. And I've sent Gary Volume 1 and now Volume 2, and I dedicated Volume 2 to him, and I've not heard from him. So oh well. I'm still a huge fan. I think this product is absolutely brilliant. As I understand it, Gary Vee has been really successful as a self-help guru, especially with the younger generation. But his personality is he's so loud, he's dropping F-bombs, he's not for everyone. And so he found a Trojan horse. He found a very clever way to get his message across, all the attributes that he believes in that are so awesome, being humble, being hardworking, being tenacious. And we're going to read all these cards. You'll see what a brilliant product this is. And it's the kind of thing where when I'm a grandpa, I cannot wait to shower my grandkids with packs from VeeFriends, because I know when we rip packs together, we're going to have fun, and the characters are beautiful, and the kids don't want to create collections and get binders out and become real collectors in VeeFriends. But I also know that there'll be a way to teach them these really valuable character traits, and you'll see how brilliant it is. Oh, I should also get my cell phone set up, so we got a second camera going on. So bear with me. Lo-fi Fink technology here. But we're up to 28 people, 31 people. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. I hope you love VeeFriends as much as I do. And if you're new to VeeFriends, then this will be a really good chance for you to check it out and see what the fuss is about. I know they'll be at Comic-Con, which is by the way sold out. I'm just typing in VeeFriends 2026 Topps Chrome Series 2. Yeah, I feel like VeeFriends is still new. People are still discovering VeeFriends, and I definitely want to help champion what they're doing. All right, so when we get any big hits, we'll set up the gallery, and we'll celebrate, and we'll show them off, and yeah, we'll have a lot of fun tonight, and I hope I can turn you into a VeeFriends disciple. Let's give it a go. Pack number 1. Oh yeah, no, I got the you know what? I didn't add the camera. I'm still learning, guys. I'm still new at this. And I had to mute that mic. All right, I think we're ready to roll. Okay, wish us luck. So again, it's not about the big hits. It's about enjoying the depth of these characters and the message that they bring. But look, oh, hold on, my oh no, we're good, we're good. My portable whatever thing fell off. We're good. Yeah, so we will celebrate the big hits if we get them, because the flip life is all about knowing what you keep, knowing what you flip, knowing what's part of a PC, knowing what's part of a collection, and yeah, I do have an eBay account, so I do mail stuff out and sell stuff on eBay. I figured out it's a very clever way to help sell books because how many people even read books anymore in this whole TikTok society and Netflix society, whatever. But I do know from business school, I have an MBA from UMKC, and we talked about target marketing and guerrilla marketing and finding ways to find the people who may enjoy your product. So in my case, I'm an author, and I have nonfiction and fiction books about all kinds of things. But the idea really came to me when I released a sports card book. I thought, who would love my book about sports cards more than sports card collectors? And so I thought to myself, my God, if someone's spending their disposable income on sports cards, and they obviously have a deep interest in sports cards, and then of course the money that they can afford to buy a book. And it turned out it was a really great strategy, and so that allowed me to stay in the hobby and justify continuing to rip cards and open wax, because we know that 90%, 85 to 90% of cards you open are busts. But you know what? Now it's no big deal, because now all my bust cards, I add into the envelope. I always add 3 or 4 free cards into an envelope. I get to add advertisements for my the books that I'm selling. And like right now, for example, I got a bunch of golf cards that I just sold, and so I'll be inserting my advertisement for the golf gods are real. So it's kind of just a brilliant, very clever strategy, and it's allowed me to keep this hobby going, and that led to new ideas to create more books about sports cards. And so I actually wrote about that whole experience in the Flip Life Volume 2, which comes out in December. And then this whole show, the Card Life Chronicles, has taken on a life of its own, but the initial idea was to use it as a vehicle to show all the pack opens that I'm doing for the book that I'm writing. Because when I wrote the Flip Life, I write about all the cards and all the packs that I pull on the way, and I do show the pictures. But I regretted that I never took video of all that stuff to kind of share that with the community, and also prove that what I did pull, I really did pull, because I did have some insane pack luck, actually in both books, really. So I kind of felt like the sports card guards were definitely real. And actually, I did think about writing a book called The Sports Card Guards Are Real, and I wrote a draft, and I scrapped it because ultimately I wrote The Pokemon Gods Are Real book, which comes out in September. And basically all the really good ideas that I came up with for the sports card book, for the Gods Are Real, I kind of infused that into the Pokemon book, which will come out. Actually, I just got the an updated book layout from my designer today. I've had a couple of minor adjustments to make that I saw, and that could be ready to go this week, and then I'll have it uploaded onto Amazon, and it could be ready on pre-sale now by the end of the week. Maybe early next week. Who knows? The ebook will take a little longer, but the goal is to get the hardback, the paperback, and the ebook to launch on September 16th when Pokemon celebrates their 30th anniversary. So I thought that was just perfect, kind of alignment. Anyway, Ambitious Angel, always think of my daughter Kayla because she's my ambitious angel. So shout out to Kayla girl. Got the Accountable Ant, Macho Man Array. Ooh. Now, I was surprised that these cards have not had much value in the secondary market. I forget what they call this design, although this is a numbered one. This is 59 out of 99. So that's a legitimate hit in our first pack. Let's read the power source. The Chill Chinchilla refuses to let stress decide your next move. Calm creates clarity, and clarity wins. Yeah, good stuff. Let's get the glass. So, opening packs is pure probability. These, they say it's not gambling, but yet the companies literally release odds of the chance to hit certain cards, and so, come on, who are we kidding, right? But I like to give credit to the sports card guards when you're feeling lucky, but sometimes you can go through droughts, and I've documented that before I launched this official show, the Card Life Chronicles. I had a pack opening series where I didn't show my face and just kind of used my phone, and over 1,000 pack openings, and I felt like 85 to 90% of the cards you actually open are absolute busts. So when you do get a numbered card, in fact, even with Topps Chrome Update Basketball, I mean, for all I thought that numbered cards were included. They're not. So now knowing that, maybe it's a little more fair, but I pulled very few numbered cards. I pulled 0 autos, and that's over 2 large rep sessions where I think they both went over 2 hours long. I think one was 3. Now, sometimes we take breaks, we chat, we whatever, but ultimately I ripped through a lot of cards, and it was hard to pull the numbered cards. So with VeeFriends Series 2, even similar to Series 1, there's not a huge print run, right? With Series 1, Topps and Fanatics didn't know if the product would be popular. It was very popular, by the way. And I document how the prices went berserk in the secondary market for Series 1. For Series 2, the prices have not. They've come down back to almost MSRP because they printed so much more of it. I think the print run is still much smaller than it would be for, compared to a Topps Chrome football release or something like that. But obviously it was enough to meet the demand. So yeah, I think high boxes are still way over market price, but I think all the other boxes now are back to close to where they were at release. So we did pull a mega head. This is a insert that's exclusive to the mega box. There's only 1 per mega, and this is the Clever Crocodile. We got to read it. Nope, you can't read it. Nothing to read. But it is worthy of the gallery. In the secondary market, from my experience, I've not seen them trade that well. But they're $5, $10 cards right now. But I think in my world, these should be like $50 cards, and then the really popular guys should be worth $100 for the mega heads. I do actually have a black cat mega head that I keep in my little display of VeeFriends over there. So yeah, so let's give this some glass. Yeah, so I think it's important to love your job, and I imagine that everyone who works at VeeFriends, literally is giddy on their way to work every day. And even when they're exhausted at the end of every day, they feel fulfilled. They know they're helping make the world a better place. And I hope I'm guessing they just have a blast working there. And I've had a chance to work for technology startups and stuff like that when I was much younger and work in the music industry. So I've been part of those young, exciting organizations. And I sense that working for VeeFriends it's got that energy. It's got that entrepreneurial, vibe going through it. There's a boisterous beaver and a perfect Persian cat. Let's read it. Reminds others that perfection is insecurity in disguise. It's better to be done than to dwell. It's good wisdom. Okay, so I love how we started with 3 people, and I was waiting for the room to kind of fill up a little bit, and I gave you guys a little quick rip of a 2025 Platinum Chrome baseball pack to say thank you for being here early. And then we got started. I think there was it was 5 people. So now we're up to 263, and that's amazing. That's amazing. That's like filling up a high school gym. So I thank you all for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new to VeeFriends, I hope you figure out what an awesome product it is and you start collecting VeeFriends. And if you're familiar with VeeFriends, I hope you enjoy the rip, because maybe it's everyone's ripping Topps Chrome basketball now on the internet. No one's ripping VeeFriends anymore because the product's been out now for a couple of months. So maybe this is hopefully refreshing because you haven't been able to watch a VeeFriends rip in a long time. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. It's a Monday night. A lot of you have work tomorrow, although it is the summer. So a lot of you guys are probably college kids who don't have school tomorrow, or you might be on your summer vacation and you're sitting in your bed in Nantucket right now, and you got nothing to do and you're hanging out with me. So I appreciate it. You can be watching TikTok or YouTube or Instagram with that. You can watch anyone. There's millions of people out there, and you're with me. So I just want to say thank you. Dapper Dashhound, Spontaneous Seahorse, Focused Falcon, To the Moon Meerkat, Persuasive Pigeon X-Fractor, let's give that a read, knows how to make a story feel personal to anyone listening. I hope I do that, right? When I'm hosting these shows, you can watch anyone rip cards, but you're ripping with me, watching me rip cards, because hopefully you like hanging out with me, because I'm like a persuasive pigeon. Okay, Bad Intentions. He's one of the bad guys, but even the bad guys in the comics and cartoons of VeeFriends, they're adorable, they're cute, and so let's give this one a read because he's adorable. He spreads chaos and fear to show nothing stands above him. Look, to be a bad guy, you got to have a lot of self-confidence. That's true. Noble Numbat, you don't see very often. He is super cute. Let's give him a read also. Yeah, we just broke 300 viewers joining. Yo, shout out to each and every one of you. I appreciate you. Competitive advantage. Earns trust by leading with character and purpose. Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like we should read each and every one of these every time. It would take a lot longer, but I feel like they deserve it because there's so much to be learned. And, a lot of these concepts we've learned, but we forget them, or we know them, but we don't espouse them. We don't live by them. And so it's like, even as an adult, it's still a good reminder, right? I used to have an old boss named Mark Romeo, and whenever we were working on a project or it didn't go well or something happened, he always pat me on the back and say, Fink, it's all in the spirit of continuous improvement. And I use that mantra for my whole life, and I've used it with my kids, and it takes the pressure off because when things don't go well and you're feeling bad about yourself, it's okay. It's all in the spirit of continuous improvement. Tomorrow's a new day. What's done is done. And that's true if you're a baseball player, or if you're a lawyer, or you're an accountant, or you're a social worker, or it doesn't really matter what you do. You can work at an animal hospital. It doesn't really matter. Everyone has good days and bad days. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone screws up an invoice, or something happens that it didn't go right, and you have to forgive yourself and you got to move on. Here's one you don't see very often: the gleeful sugar glider. Is that even a real animal? Spreads joy through lively energy that lights up everyone around them. This guy kind of scares me. Trusting tarantula, but yet I love the quality of the tarantula. Trust others from the start, which allows them to feel confident taking the lead. So we won't get too spiritual tonight, or maybe we will. Jesus preached forgiveness, and it's kind of the elixir. When you can forgive, you're not forgiving someone because they deserve forgiveness. You're forgiving for yourself, so you can release all that angst and all that negative energy. So learning to forgive is a very, 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 very powerful thing, and it almost becomes like a spiritual weapon when you can learn to forgive. Because people who have burned you or whatever, they can't believe that you can actually move on, and it's actually like a dagger, silent dagger. Let's read it. Competitive advantage for the forgiving horned frog. Shout out to TCU, they're the horned frogs. Knows holding grudges only hurts them, not the person they're mad at. I think I just said that. Whoa. Polished poodle out of 75. So, like when it rains, it pours. This is our second numbered card. The out of 99, Chinchilla was a good hit. The polished poodle out of 75. It's adorable. It's got brilliant speckle. It looks great. And here's the thing. Some characters are more popular than others. And the dogs, we all love dogs in our society. So I think the dogs are more popular than other characters. And, I have a Shih Tzu poodle mix. So everyone loves if you love a poodle, come on, you want this card. So this will probably sell really well. This might be a $75 card. I have no idea, but it's something like that. I mean, I feel like out of all the products that are out there, this won't always be the case. I think VeeFriends will eventually be printed much more each year if they're having continued success. But the best chance to break even or actually make money ripping wax is with VeeFriends. They don't ever preach that. They probably shouldn't. It should be about collecting and all that stuff. But it's true because it's just not a huge print run. So there's just higher probability of you getting the numbered cards. And then once again, there's only 200 characters, where like in Topps Chrome Platinum, I think there was 500 players. So it's a lot harder to pull, X, Y, or Z specific player. All right, back to business. By the way, usually I'm drinking black cherry soda. Tonight's ginger ale. The Oak Monster Extractor, the Rare Robot, and the Legendary Lemur. So I feel like we've already had a lot of success, and I think we're still in the first. I just dropped the card. We're still in the first blaster. All right, this one might have some magic in it because it fell. Let's see what happens. That could be a new chapter. The drop pack Drop pack luck. I don't know what that's kind of stupid. Whatever. Tough to beat a worm from the dirt. Compassionate catfish. One of my favorite characters as far as cuteness, cute ability, self-aware hair, detail-oriented Dumbo octopus, productive puffin with the chalk. Let's read it. What I like is the chalk doesn't have a competitive advantage. It has a lesson for the day. Shout out to the chat, over 400. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me on this Monday, now for people on the East Coast, Tuesday night. And if you're watching me in Europe, it's definitely Tuesday. And if you're watching me in in Asia, like in Singapore, or South Korea, shout out to you. Thank you for joining me. It's definitely, the sun's probably rising where you are right now. Yep, we're all just on this spinning ball that's floating through the universe. It's pretty surreal, right? Anyway, today's lesson: do what makes you happy. Productive Puffin teaches that the best kind of getting things done is choosing activities you enjoy. When you start with something that makes you smile, the next steps feel easier and way more fun. Simple as that. Decisive Duck, he was one of the original OG characters. He's on the box of Series 1 Topps Chrome. An independent inchworm. So, who's your favorite VeeFriends character? Drop me some names in the chat. Let me know who you identify with. If you're new to VeeFriends, you can go to their website and take a personality quiz, a questionnaire, and it will show you which character you're most like. And that's actually pretty cool because we identify with certain baseball players for certain reasons, or people love certain Pokemon characters for certain reasons. You'll have your own reasons, and you'll find your VeeFriend characters that you love. That's just the cool thing about this universe of characters. And like most people, you probably fall in love with several characters. Offensive-oriented orangutan, articulate armadillo, modest moose, gritty ghost, Cody clicks Conrad, gracious grasshopper. Now, I don't know if the vibing vampire is a bad guy or not. He might be, but let's read his competitive advantage. Read the room better than anyone else, allowing him to smoothly move through social situations. I dig it. That's cool. All right, next pack. I have all these banners, obviously behind me, but they're actually all over my office. Everywhere I go, I'll buy one and I collect them. I love to collect, obviously. I would love a VeeFriends banner. I know they have a bunch of merch, so if anyone who's watching tonight from VeeFriends, please create a banner so I can buy one. That'd be so sick. Loyal Lobster, Versatile Viking, Just Jackal, Bombastic Baboon, Brave Bison X-Fractor, Humble Hummingbird, Zealous Zombie. I think there might be more than one humble character. There probably is, because it's such an important character trait, but let's read it. Never over or underestimate its importance in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, we're all just a speck on this spinning ball, and we're all here for just a moment, So be kind. Oh, we got a timeout. Here comes my dog Buddy, and you know what that means. There he is. You can see him on the camera. He's my poodle. It's time to go outside. We'll be right back, guys. 450 in the chat. Let's hopefully I get back to this more. All right, back soon. So I literally took my dog out like right before I went live. So he inevitably will come down and need to go potty. I have a whole bed set up for him. I would love him just to come down here and hang out with me, but like he's used to hanging out upstairs. So he knows where I am, and he comes down when he needs me. But then I give him a treat, and then it's like he might come back down again. You'll see if he does. Hopefully he does, because I like his company. But he'll probably find his way to his other bed. But he's persistent, like a persistent penguin. Okay, so here's a weird thing. When I pulled actually, watch this. Hold on. Are you guys familiar with the Mandela effect? Anyone? And the CERN Hadron Collider in Switzerland, and how people think that they're changing the timeline of our universe. So Nelson Mandela was a civil rights leader in South Africa, and he was in jail for many years. And he eventually became president of South Africa. And people have debated whether he was alive or dead. And people have different recollection of his timeline. And now there's been similar things in society where, like, you know, Aunt Jemima, was she wearing a beanie on her head or not? Or Chick-fil-A, was it CK or K or just C? And like people think it's different over time. Well, I am certain that I pulled a 101 daring dragonfly, and now it's called a dedicated dragonfly. And I believe I sold that card, I think for $2,000, by the way. And I then pulled a sticker of a daring dragonfly, and I kept it because I want to remember that pull. I should have kept the card, by the way, but check this out. Hold on, I have it right over here. So I don't know if this is a Mandela effect, or maybe they're different characters, because if you look here, this is the Daring Dragonfly, and it's the debut. But here's the dedicated Dragonfly. They look similar, they're different colors. This one's purple, that guy's kind of teal blue. And this is his VeeFriends first Chrome. So I beg the question, what do you guys think? Do you think this is like Mandela effect, where I can prove it, or did they just change the character name, or are these two different characters? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. But it's definitely pretty wild, right? So I'm gonna keep that separate right there. All right, back to business. Steadfast Snake. You don't see this card very often. Let's read it. Every pursuit is followed through until the job is done. Flexing Fox, he's one of the new characters. This is his first Chrome. Learning not to act or flex from a place of comparison. One of my go-to characters, the entrepreneurial elf X-Fractor. Where others see problems, he sees opportunity. Yeah, so by the way, I left to take my dog out to go potty. It was 450. Now we're at 526. Thank you. By the way, please like and subscribe. I don't know if you're watching this on Twitter or wherever, but if you can watch this on YouTube, give it a like and subscribe, so the algorithm helps me get to other people. And I only have like 76 followers on YouTube, which is insane. Like, help me get over 100. Come on, let's do this. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Headstrong Honey Badger. I can't even imagine. It's wild to me that I even care how many followers I have, because I never even thought I would be hosting a podcast, or let alone several podcasts, or being a guest on several other podcasts. And I just thought I'd be an author. I spent 10 years writing books, and only in the last few months, after I got invited by Paul, I got asked to host that podcast, which I finally said yes to, and I'm so glad I did. But now that I am on social media and I have a YouTube channel, now I want it to grow. It's a very natural desire to want to see your stuff grow, and whatever. I also do. I did launch I love storytelling. I did launch 4 different Dynasty franchises on Xbox that are all linked to my book series. I've always loved video games. Like, I literally remember playing Atari Pong, so all the way through Pong to Mario Brothers, Coleco, all the different systems, Tecmo Bowl, I played them all. SimCity when I got into college. Never gave up on video games, played all the way through adulthood. And then in the last 10 years, I've been so obsessed with writing books and spending my late nights not doing online rips. I've been writing or editing and, pacing around my house doing editing all night long. And I just haven't played any video games. And so now that I'm scaling that stuff back, I'm going to release a book every 6 months. Still got many more books to put out, but I'm going to slow it down. Releasing Pokemon in September, Flip Life Volume 2 in December, and then I'll put out Basketball Gods next June. And I'll start putting out books every June, December, twice a year for the foreseeable future. So anyway, yeah. So now I have the time to kind of hang out with you guys. Where usually I would spend this time, either being asleep because I was exhausted, or usually staying up late, abusing coffee and writing all night long and editing. Here's the Tidy Troll, Gracious Goose, Unwavering Urchin, Adventurous Astronaut. Here's a balanced battle of the Chilton-Chilla and the Hardworking Wombat. It says, chill and hardworking may seem like opposites, but the strongest performers know how to balance pushing themselves while knowing when to recharge. Staying chill fuels you. Hard work gets it done. And then one of my other favorite go-to characters, my day job was a financial advisor. That's actually why I wrote that first book, The Sports Card Collectors Club. What happened is, so here's the full story for those who don't know. I've been writing nonfiction for years with the Baseball Gods Are Real, Football Gods Are Real, Music Gods Are Real, all that stuff. And then I came up with this character named Kevin Dempsey. He's kind of like my alter ego. He's a college professor, and he's the star of a book series called The Republic Baseball League. The trilogy is complete. I released volume 3 on July 4th. And Kevin loves baseball cards, just like I do, or I had for most of my life. I've been out of it for 30 years. And but baseball cards is a big part of the, kind of like a theme that runs through all the books. And so when the pandemic finally ended, a lot of people my age that give up the hobby for like 20, 30 years, they got back into the hobby during the pandemic because everyone was bored, and that fueled that huge price run. But I did not get involved in that at all. I was so deep in writing the Republic Baseball League. I also wrote The Hockey Gods Are Real, and I wrote the first draft of The Basketball Gods Are Real, The Soccer Gods Are Real. I think I even wrote Volume 1 of Spirits of the Gridiron too. I mean, I had a lot of time on my hands, and everyone else was just playing board games and online TikToking, and I was just grinding hardcore, like 20 hours a day. I was obsessed. So anyway, then when the pandemic ended, and I went to my first card show, and I saw it, I was amazed. I had not been to a trade show maybe ever, I guess, and I was just like in a kid in a candy store, and I eventually found this table with vintage cards, and I saw this table where there was 2 1964 Willie Mays cards. Here, I'll show you what the card looks like. This is one of the two. And I bought 2 of them. One for me, it's the first card I ever like PC'd, right? And then I bought the other one to gift to my dad for his birthday. My dad, Jeffrey Fink, grew up in the Bronx. He worshipped Willie Mays. He would literally wait after games to get him to sign his glove or wherever he could. Collected all of his cards. And so I decided, you know what? And my dad's whole collection got trashed by my grandmother when my dad was in law school. It's another part of the story. They were switching apartments and didn't have room for it anymore. And so my grandma threw them out, not realizing that they'd one day be worth, thousands of dollars. So anyway, I in the book I have a chapter about Willie Mays, and I basically start collecting Willie Mays cards, and I start gifting to my dad every Father's Day, every birthday, and I did that for years until he told me I had to stop. It was getting out of control. Which, by the way, he probably shouldn't have done because I was enjoying it, and it gave me a reason to give him awesome gifts. And then he, what's the problem? Like when you pass away, you just gift them to me and my son Nate. Like let me just enjoy giving you the gifts. But he eventually told me to stop, so I did. Anyway, that's when I got back into the hobby, and from there, I started going on YouTube, and I started discovering people like Jeff Wilson, the sports card investor, right? And there's a sports card app, and what I realized is like, holy shit, like the hobby is now like the stock market. Now I've been a financial advisor for almost 30 years. I love the stock market. I love economics. I love investing. And I realized like, wow, look at these apps. Look at this chart of 1964 Willie Mays, and it's treating that card like it's a stock, like it's IBM. So I tried to at first embrace the modern day investment oriented hobby. And as soon as I got started, I realized, well, how would I do it? How am I going to make money doing this? And I watched some people on YouTube how they do it, but I'm like, I got to do something different so I can be unique, because you got to zig when everyone else is zagging. I can't invest like everyone else. So I decided I have an MBA from University of Missouri, Kansas City. I went to undergraduate from Tulane, and I've been investing my whole life, but I also had now an academic background in investing. And I decided, you know what, let me take the principles that I learned in business school and apply them to sports cards. So I wrote a chapter about, how would Warren Buffett buy sports cards? How would a hedge fund do it? How would a private equity firm do it? How would a day trader do it? Right? And so some chapters I make money, some I lose, but it made for a great, entertaining book. But then what happened is, and this is all the story of the book, and this is all true. Then there was this pivotal moment. I've been investing in the markets in the sports car market for some time, having fun, having wins and losses, but enjoying it and documenting it, and writing all about it. In fact, I even considered calling the book I think it was called the Sports Card Investment Club. And I remember being on the road. I was at Giant Sports Cards in Atlanta, when my son and I were traveling for his travel baseball stuff. And I was talking to the owner of Giant Sports Cards, telling him about my book idea that I've been researching. And I told him about the idea of the name, and I told him I'm also thinking about calling it the Sports Card Collectors Club. And he was like, yeah, don't call it the Investment Club, call it the Collectors Club. And then as fate would have it, during the summer, when I got back from travel baseball in August, I was watching the Royals game, and there was a rain delay. Now, the announcers will kill time initially when there's a rain delay, but once they realize it's a prolonged rain delay, then they'll actually put on scheduled programming, or programming that they can impromptu put on. And so a lot of baseball networks, the go-to show to put on is The Card Life. The Card Life is hosted by Matt Strom, who most recently was pitching for the Royals, but when he was hosting the show, and when I first met him, he was pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies still. And Brandon Roosevelt, producer, has this really good show, and there's segments where they have guests on. I eventually became a guest. We'll get into that later, I guess. But there's also a segment where Matt rips cards with a guest. And I'm watching Matt rip these packs, and I started remembering, like, those great memories of ripping packs when I was a kid in the junk wax era. And I realized, you know what? I've been doing this hobby all wrong. I don't want to keep investing. I want to start collecting. And so the rest of that book is about collecting and set building, and kind of how I now enjoy this hobby much, much differently. Now, look, I still love investing. I still love economics. So I still very much follow what's going on in the marketplace, because I think it's fascinating. But in my collection, you'll find that most of the things that I own are not valuable, and they're not meant to be. They're things that are meaningful to me for different reasons. And we can get into that more at another time. But that's true with VeeFriends too. I'm just as happy with a base card of the Bullish Bull. I don't need a 101 refractor of the Bullish Bull. So when I pull a 101, I'm not going to sell it and get as much as I can for it. And when I pull a Bull base card, that will go PC, because that's what I really care about. So I'm just as happy with base cards, because it's more about the meaning of the card and the purpose, and the energy that I feel towards it. Practical Peacock. Yeah, talking about sports cards having energy is not very practical. Let's read this. Balances ambition with common sense to stand out without showing off. Yeah, good stuff. All right, guys, that was the first mega box. So for those keeping score at home, we pulled the Chill Chinchilla at a 99. We pulled the Clever Crocodile Mega Head. I love the Mega Head. I do. I think that's a really great design, and I hope they keep it next year. And we pulled the Polished Poodle at a 75. Very nice. All right. So no comments yet. Drop in the comments below your favorite character. I'm curious to know which VeeFriends character you resonate with. If you're new to VeeFriends, then maybe you'll have to just choose a character you've seen tonight so far and vote for that. All right. And don't forget to please like and subscribe. to help me get over 100 subscribers. It's crazy that I'm still at 76. Although, to be honest, I have enjoyed the grind. I appreciate each and every subscriber. I remember when I got my first subscriber, and I remember when I got my 50th. When I got my 50th, that's when I got permission to start going live on YouTube, and that's been huge because now I can do all my video game stuff on there, and I'm able to if you notice, my first few shows for my podcast, they're on the Collecting and Connecting networks, but they're not on mine because I didn't have the right to go live. Now the show airs dual. It airs on Paulie's Collecting and Connecting network YouTube channel, and also on mine. By the way, we're now at 661 people in the chat. I thank you so much for joining me. God bless each and every one of you. When we started, there were 3 people, and so if you guys are still here, those 3, give me a shout out in the chat. You're the OGs. So we started with a blaster, sorry, a mega. Now we'll go with the blaster. Although I don't know if you noticed, they just very subtly and quickly changed the name. Now they're calling them value boxes, which is ironic because Topps Chrome Basketball Update, a blaster box, costs $45, so it's really hard to call it a value box. Although I guess compared to the high box, which retailed at MSRP at $500, is now trading at over $1,000. I guess the blaster box is value compared to the overpriced hobby. So who knows? Whatever. Greedy Ghost, Loyal Lobster, Versatile Viking, Independent Inchworm. Let's read that one. Moves forward by standing on its own 1 inch at a time. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a really clever product. It makes the world a better place. I'm a big fan of VeeFriends. Definitely borderline obsessed with it. Definitely looking forward to becoming a grandpa one day so I can enjoy this with my grandkids. But I think it's for adults too. It's just so cute. But I think it's designed for kids. I think kids will get the most out of it. And for adults that are awesome, they will be buying VeeFriends as gifts for their nieces and nephews and for their grandchildren. And you know, this is the kind of the stuff you want your kids playing with because you know that they're going to learn something and become a better person along the way because of it, which is brilliant stuff. Just Jackal, Bombastic Baboon, and here we go, a responsive ram out of 99. And that's an adorable character. Look how cute that guy is. Competitive advantage. Charges into action the moment they're needed. Guys, 3rd numbered card. It's only our 2nd box. I'm grateful to the non-sports card gods for all the good luck so far. You got to show gratitude. It's actually one of the secrets to life. Gratitude and forgiveness. Those are the 2 keys, man. Clever crocodile. Let's read it. Waits beneath the surface, conserving energy, reading patterns, and striking when it matters most. That's cool. Persistent penguin. I'm going to call it the daring dragonfly. You know why. Responsive ram in yellow. Whoa, I love the anomalies. Back-to-back responsive ram. Yellow refractor and base. Let's read it. Charges into action the moment they're needed. That's what a good friend does too, by the way. Steadfast snake. Flexin fox. Slayin slug. Hardworking wombat. Let's read it. Competitive advantage. Keeps going with steady effort even when progress isn't visible. You know what? When I started posting my videos, my pack openings, and if you go right now, look at my YouTube, go to my very first pack opening, I think it still has like 4 views. And I did 1,000. And not one of them got over 100 views. It wasn't until 7 months later that I broke 100 views on an NBA 2K video. And then I've recently been publishing my podcast stuff. and though the Car Life Chronicles like this, and my podcast interviews, and they've now gotten over 100. So I've been grateful for that new milestone. But believe me, I had to be very, very patient. It took a while, and I just kept grinding. I thank Gary Vee. I watched his videos, and he inspires me. Gary and I are the same age. I'm actually a year older than Gary, but I feel at times like he's an older dude because he has so much wisdom. But yeah, he's done a great job. He's been very helpful to me, and I'm sure to thousands and thousands of other people on their entrepreneurial path. So even though I haven't heard a thank you for sending you my book, shout out to Gary Vee. Tidy Troll. Gracious Goose, Balanced Battles. We've already pulled this one, the Hardworking Wombat and the Chill Chinchilla. So let's read the Wild Wallaby. Jumps head on into every challenge and uses its agility to change direction faster than anyone else. Very cute. Unwavering Urchin. Adventurous Astronaut. Like a Sponge. I don't understand this guy. Like a Sponge? That's not an animal. Is that even a character? I'll have to wait and see how they portray the sponge in the comic book series. Here's the lesson, though. I'm sure it's a good one. Soak up everything around you. Like a sponge teaches that the best learners listen, watch, and take in new ideas wherever they go. The more you absorb, the more you grow. I mean, I think it's a weird character, but I absolutely love the message and the lesson. It's great. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Gifted Gopher. Let's read that one too. Believes their gifts are meant to be shared. Hell yeah. I believe my pack openings are meant to be shared. Thank you to Jordan Neal from the baseball card store. I had been opening packs for years, literally years, just for fun because I love the hobby. And I take my old shoebox that's from that my son used to use for his collection, and I fill it up with all the extra cards, and I would trade them in. And finally, Jordan Neal was like, "Dude, you should be doing this stuff on YouTube, man. You're an author. You want to sell books, right? Go rip the packs online." I'm like, I don't know. And then a month later, I get invited to go to Chanute to record my episode with Brandon Verzel for the Card Life. And there's Matt Strom, the host. He's recording his segment the same day, the same spot. And I'm watching him rip packs on television. And I'm thinking, like, that's exactly what Jordan Neal's been telling me to do. And then, like, all clicked. Like, and then as soon as I got home, I started ripping cards online. Now, for the first 1,000, I did it just with my phone, and I didn't show my face. And then what happened is I got invited by Paulie from the What Do You Collect podcast and the Collecting and Connecting Network. He asked me if I wanted to do my own podcast. I said yes. And that got me access to the technology, this platform that we use called StreamYard. And then once I realized I had the intro, I had the outro, once I had the format, I can go live with a chat. Then I was like, oh yeah, this opens up a whole new world of possibility to me. And so I just took advantage of that, and here we are today. So cheers to Paulie, because I would not be doing midnight rip sessions if it wasn't for Paulie from the Collecting and Connecting Podcast Network. So shout out to you, Paulie. You know, when you do a podcast by yourself, and you're talking the whole time, you get thirsty. All right, let's keep going. Ambitious Angel, Accountable Ant, Hardworking Wombat, and the Truculent T-Rex. He's kind of scary looking, but yes, he's kind of super cute too. We rarely pull this guy. Let's see what he says. Competitive advantage. Knows that staying still turns you into a fossil. So moves fast and strikes first to avoid extinction. That's cute. Very cute. Okay. Last pack of the second box, which is we did a mega and we did a blaster so far. Macho Manta Ray, Dapper Dashhound, Faithful Pheasant, and Dope Dodo. Let's read that. Leans into being different, turning its odd ideas into wins for the flock. Very cool. Hey, shout out to the chat. We just hit 700 viewers. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you guys. Hope you're having fun hanging out with me. Hope you love VeeFriends. If you're new to it, welcome to VeeFriends. Let's go with the Mega Box next. Let's keep taking things up. So Megas have certain guaranteed hits, like the Mega Head card. So I feel like because of that, the Mega has like maybe a lower ceiling and maybe a higher ceiling and a lower floor if you're talking like about investing and pulling bangers. Like the 101 Blast Off series is only in the Blaster, for example, not in a Mega at all. So those 101s have some really big upside. So that's obviously not possible in the Mega, but you also get the Mega Heads, which are like my favorite designs. So let's pull a. I'd love to pull a Mega Head for an Entrepreneurial Elf or a Bullish Bull. I've yet to do that. So maybe the sports card gods can make that happen tonight. Let's see. Gracious Grizzly Bear, Warm Wolverine, Helpful Hippo, Woke Walrus, Profound Possum X Factor. Let's read it. Can clearly see the why behind the what. Well Connected Werewolf, and Hotshot Hornet. Hustling Hamster, one of the cutest characters for sure. Last Glass Standing, Determined Dolphin, Stunned Sun, super cute, Tolerant Tortoise. Moves through life with patience and an open heart, showing harmony through understanding. You're Gonna Die Fly, and Adaptable Alien. Let's read that one. Treats every new challenge like a new planet, adjusting as he explores. That's cute. See, Gary Vee even found a way to make a green alien cute. Isn't that amazing? All right, next pack. This is our second Mega Box for those keeping score. We've pulled 3 number cards so far and 1 Mega Head. Bubbly Buzzard, Positive Porcupine, Be the Bigger Person, Organized Ostrich, Flexing Fox. First time I pulled this in the chalk. Today's lesson: your best flex is being you. Flexing Fox teaches that trying to impress others doesn't matter. What does matter is choosing the things that make you smile and doing them proudly. When you do what feels right for you, that's the coolest flex of all. Good job, Gary. That's your brilliant stuff. Selfless Sloth, Chill Chinchilla. Awesome African Civet, Moral Monkey, Patient Pig, he's super cute, Like a Sponge. Oh, this is my favorite card design in the set, the manga. This is a humble hummingbird, and she's adorable, and she's going into the gallery for sure. Never over or underestimate its importance in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Again, they go for like $5, I think, on eBay. They should go for more, in my opinion. They have great art. They have great shine and speckle. Big fan. Respectful Raccoon, Big Game Bandicoot. Let's read that. A master of taking calculated risks with unflinching confidence. Cool. Oh, little timeout. So on YouTube, I mentioned I'm playing video games again, and I'm having fun with it, and I'm finding a way to kind of turn it into something related to my sports card addiction, right? But there's something else going on here. The modern day hobby, I feel like a large propensity of the hobby members, they're not collectors. They're managing a portfolio of investments. There's such a culture of trading cards at shows and buying and selling that it's really about making money. And things that you PC are only temporary until you flip them for the right price. And I also wanted to kind of emphasize that you can enjoy this hobby without spending lots of money. And so, an example of that is, and I'm having so much fun doing this. I'm playing it's called the Lost Franchises. It's NBA 2K. I'm playing a dynasty, from the very beginning, 1983, and I'm playing with the Kansas City Kings, which is where I live, Kansas City. And of course, in '85, they're not going to move to Sacramento. They're going to stay in Kansas City, and I'm going to keep running the team. And then in '84, there's 6 expansion teams, and I took 6 teams that are not around anymore, like the Syracuse Nationals, New Jersey Americans, the Buffalo Bisons. There's a few more, and they come back. And as I'm now playing the season, of course, I traded the whole team away, and I built a starting 5 that I'm happy with. And now I'm collecting the cards of all my players. And then each year, I'm gonna, draft a player. I'm gonna trade for a player, or free agent a guy. Whenever I add new players, I'm gonna buy their cards. And so every time I play a game, and I post an update to say, hey, here's the link, go watch the YouTube video, I post a new card. And these are all the ones that have come in the mail recently, or actually this one I always had, which is my Wayne Tree Rollins. I just forgot it was in my collection of '86 Flair. I just forgot it. And I love this Bill Walton card. He plays power forward for my starting 5. Tree Rollins is my center. Look at this. This is an on-card auto for John Sunvold. I think I literally bought it for like $2. Could you believe that? This I pulled from a pack. Anthony Bonner does not play on my team, but it's the Kansas City Kings, so that's awesome. So that's why it's part of the collection. Here's an all-star card for Dominique Wilkins. He's been my best player. As a kid growing up, he was always known for scoring, not for defense. But because of his build and all that stuff, I decided to use him like Magic Johnson. So he's been my starting point guard. And I do tons of pick and roll with him and Tree Rollins. And he's actually, I think, leading the league now in points scored and assists. Yeah. And because a lot of times he's playing in smaller point guards, he's been really good defensively too. And then speaking of which, this guy, I guess this guy's actually considered my 6th man. It's the first player that I picked up as a free agent. And he's been pretty good so far. In real life, he became a very famous coach. It's Mike Dunleavy. So you'll be seeing those cards again soon when I play some more games in that sim. All right. So we've now broken 700 people. I remember when we started with 3. Thank you everyone for joining. So here's some ginger ale. I say cheers. Not an endorsement. Not being paid by Canada Dry. At least not yet. I would be thrilled to endorse. If I ever do take on endorsements, by the way, guys. It's only going to be things that I believe in. It's just how I roll. So hopefully, like Canada Dry, they hit me up. I'm all over that. All right, let's keep going. Those keeping score at home. This is the second mega box we're opening. We opened 1 blaster. We've had 3 numbered cards, 1 manga, the hummingbird, and 1 mega head. The clever crocodile, passionate parrot, badass bulldog, observant oyster, authentic anaconda, candid clownfish X Factor. Let's read it. This is the first time we pulled this card. Swims with fearless honesty, saying what needs to be said so the tides don't turn. Prudent polar bear and consistent cougar. He's cute. I like the megas because there's more cards per pack. It's more satisfying ripping a pack with 7 cards than just 4. I'm not a big fan of the 4, although 4 is my favorite number, so I do like that part, I guess. I do love number 4. Monday Mole, Kind Warrior, Knowing Gnome, Thoughtful 3-Horned Harpnick, Eager Eagle, Sharing Squirrel, Empathy Elephant. It's a bust. I am curious how some of you guys found me tonight. If you found me because you subscribe already, or you found me on Twitter, or you're watching on the Collecting and Connecting Podcast Network, or maybe you just were on YouTube and I was in your scroll. Let me know in the chat below where you guys found me. I'm really curious. Thank you. And please subscribe and give it a like. Intuitive Iguana, Courageous Cockatoo, Skilled Skeleton, Dynamic Dinosaur. Ooh, we got a balanced battle We got the logical lion and the intuitive iguana. Intuition and logic often feel like opposites, one rooted in feeling and the other in reason. But when they're battling for balance together, intuition still wins 50% of the time. Tenacious termite and forthright flamingo. Let's read it. Speaks honestly and early, preventing bigger problems later. Yeah. Mark Twain once said, if you're honest, you don't have to remember anything in your entire life. When you lie, you have to remember what you told and what you told to who and da da da. Just be honest. So much stress comes to the mind, body, spirit from lying and having to deal with the guilt and holding the lion. Just be honest. It's such a liberating way to live your life. You're so much healthier and happier. I'm convinced people who lie, they get gray hair sooner and they get cancer and all big shit happens to you because it's mind, body, spirit all connected. Swaggy sea lion, eager eagle, tolerant tortoise. Whoa. Vibin vampire at a 99. We already pulled the chill chinchilla at a 99. This guy looks really cool. And then back to back, what a pack. The mega head, the kind warrior. That's what's so cool about ripping packs. I mean, that's not obviously a god pack. A god pack is when you get like every card's like an insane hit. But most pack openings are mundane. I'd say 85% of the time you get a mundane hit, mundane pack. And then the 15% of the time you get a decent pack or a good pack. Probably 2% of the time you get a really, really good pack. Like here you get a mega head and a numbered card. That you gotta celebrate. Oh, that actually was the last pack of the Mega Box. So we did finish strong, however, with 2 good cards. Kind of a glare, isn't there? I don't know. That's weird lighting. Oh well, sorry about that. All right, so we're at almost an hour and a half. So we'll rip one more blaster. We'll wrap it up around 2 hours. Thank you, everyone. Thank everyone for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I will be doing another spontaneous rip soon. Although probably not tomorrow night, because tomorrow night I have the Rip Sessions. The Rip Sessions is my show on my YouTube channel and the Collecting and Connecting Network. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific. It's like, come join me. Come to the table at the local card shop. We're going to sit around and hang out in the Zoom and rip cards together and just chill and have fun and be part of a community, a club, if you will. Anyone can join and get up to 10 people at a time. Send me a DM if you're interested, and I'll send you the link, and you'll join the show. And you'll rip cards with us and have some fun. And I really want to get a good turnout, because if I don't, then it's like, do I even want to keep doing it? Maybe I'll change the format, and I'll turn the Card Life Chronicles into a bi-weekly show, perhaps. I could do that too, and just do it like this. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Hopefully tomorrow I get a great turnout, and we can keep the show going as it was meant to be. Gritty Ghost, Loyal Lobster, Impeccable Instronaut. Let's hold on. Let's read that one in a second. And Legendary Lemur. Let's read that one first. Operates knowing life isn't about what's in your bank account, but instead about how many people will attend your funeral. Wow, that's kind of deep. Always strikes with 100% intent to create the best outcome. Got it. So scalping has been a big issue in the hobby. Obviously, Topps is trying to prevent that. They're now cutting the seals on certain mega boxes of the Topps Chrome Basketball Update. Well, it remains to be seen if it's effective or not. But I'll tell you that a lot of the local card shops were forced to charge their blaster boxes, their value boxes at MSRP, but they were not for hobby or for megas. And some stores were charging a lot of money over MSRP. And I'm curious to see what happens tomorrow with prices, because those profits could be gone if prices really, in the short term, collapse because the Cooper flag patch was pulled tonight. Versatile Viking, Just Jackal, Hype Horse with the manga, love it. Decisive Duck, let's read it. By choosing quickly, it creates momentum while others stall. Bombastic Baboon, Persistent Penguin, ooh, Bullish Bull with the chalk. Today's lesson, lead with confidence. Bullish Bull teaches that good leaders don't just stand strong, they help everyone around them feel supported. When you trust yourself and guide with care, the whole group can reach the goal that once seemed out of reach. That's awesome. Independent Inchworm. Dedicated Dragonfly, Steadfast Snake, Sensitive Centipede, Clever Crocodile. We pulled the Clever Crocodile Mega Head, so let's read the Sensitive Centipede. Feels deeply and has a sharp emotional awareness to read the situation faster than most. That's good. Flux and Fox. Tidy Troll. We read that one a lot. We skip it a lot. We never read it. Thrives by keeping things simple, structured, and stress-free. Yeah, don't lie. Live a stress-free life. Creative Crab. Responsive Ram. All right, 3 packs left. Gracious Goose. Unwavering Urchin, Adventurous Astronaut, Hardworking Wombat. Let's read the Unwavering Urchin. Always focused on goals, not seesawing, no wobbling, just solid momentum. Good. It's good. Third time tonight, Ambitious Angel, Accountable Ant, Macho Manaray, Wild Wallaby. Jumps head on into every challenge and uses its agility to change direction faster than anyone else. Okay, so we got 1 pack to go in this blaster. This will mean that we've done 2 blasters and 2 megas, and we just finished an hour and a half. That's probably a good time to wrap it up. Here's the good news: I got more supply, so we can do another session another night. So I'll surprise you when we're going to do it. It could be in a couple of days, it could be a couple of weeks, but we will have enough to do another session. So for tonight, this will be our last pack. So we'll rip this, and then we'll do a recap of how we did tonight. Again, we're at 710 people. I would have been happy if we still had the original 3. Anyone who gets to hang out with me tonight, I'm grateful for those people. So to go from 3 to 700 plus, that's really fantastic. And I thank all of you. I hope you were entertained, you had fun, you learned something new. And hopefully we'll do it again soon. So yeah, give it a like, subscribe, support the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. And go check out my books, of course. Go check out my books. Dapper Dashhound, Spontaneous Seahorse, Glowing Glowworm, Gifted Gopher, Glowing Glowworm, radiates positive energy from within that lifts spirits and lights up others. All right, we'll shut down the second camera. And we'll do a quick recap. So we pulled, I don't know what this insert is called, I probably should, but it's really a good looking card, especially with the number. I think it's got more color on it than the other version. But this is the Vibing Vampire out of 99. This is the Chill Chinchilla out of 99. Those are two good hits. We opened 2 mega boxes, so we did pull 2 mega heads. The 2 that I really want are the Entrepreneurial Elf and the Bullish Bull. I didn't pull those tonight. I did pull a Kind Warrior, very cute. And I did pull a Clever Crocodile. Next, mangas. Arguably my favorite design. They look so good. Here's a Hype Horse. By the way, the competitive advantage brings energy that makes you believe that you can. And a Humble Hummingbird. It reads, never over or underestimate its importance in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, keep them in perspective. Then we have pulled 2 more numbered cards. A Responsive Ram out of 99. It reads, charges into action the moment they're needed. And a Polished Poodle out of 75. That's a real banger. Knows the only way to get polished is to start and keep learning. Yeah. It's like I mentioned before, my old boss, Mark Romeo. It's all in the spirit of continuous improvement. And that's true if you're a baseball player, if you're a doctor, if you're an accountant. Doesn't matter what you are or what you do. It's all about getting better at what you do and becoming the best version of yourself. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much. We're going to finish with 711 supporters, members of this community, you're members of this club. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Go VeeFriends, go. You guys take care. And as always, God bless.
He pulled a stain from a shoebox lid. Said this one traded for my first big win. Jonathan Fink on the line tonight with a pack in hand.